Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Tattoo Awakening, all kinds of divine beasts carved on my back. Chapter 26, Violent. If Zheng Rong had known about what was happening in the jungle outside the city, he would definitely not have called for help. In the jungle, looking at the human across from him who couldn't even reach his fingernails, looking at him with a teasing smile, his eyes were just like the way he used to look at humans, the sky-splitting demon ape king couldn't restrain his anger. Shame. Provocative. Damn it. How dare the human being in front of him to treat this king of the jungle with such disdain is unforgivable. Ever since the sky-splitting demon ape king became a platinum monster, when had he ever been so looked down upon by any creature? Especially when the other party is a human being who is worse than an ant. How dare he? When human beings see themselves, they should not feel fear, but at the very least they should have a panicked expression. But the human being in front of him overturned the knowledge of the sky-splitting demon ape king. The human opposite looked at him as if he were a pitiful creature. That definitely shouldn't be the look he had. Human beings actually dare to despise themselves and look down upon themselves. Who gave him the courage? Human, you have successfully aroused my anger, prepare to die. The body of the sky-splitting demon ape king suddenly swelled to the size of 30 meters, and then he slammed his fist at Shu Mo's location. Shu Mo's disdain for the sky-splitting demon ape king made the other party feel deeply offended. It must make Shu Mo pay the due price for this. However, Shu Mo did not panic at all when faced with the earth-shattering attack of the sky-splitting demon ape king. He did not even dodge. He even took a step forward. His whole body was shaken, and the Chongming bird suddenly appeared behind him. When the sky-splitting demon ape king struck down from the sky with his earth-shattering punch, Shu Mo's figure had already disappeared from the place. Provoking the other party, consuming the other party, constantly teasing the other party, and keeping the other party in a state of anger, this is Shu Mo's purpose. After accepting the system task, Shu Mo has been thinking about how to deal with the big guy in front of him. The sky-splitting demon ape king is extremely powerful, but Shu Mo is not bad either. After the initial trial, Shu Mo has already figured out the depth of the opponent. Although the attack of the sky-splitting demon ape king was terrifying, in Shu Mo's opinion, the speed was too slow and the attack method was too single. He is not Zheng Rong. The sky-splitting demon ape king can hurt people just by the shock wave caused by his attack. With the blessing of the Chongming bird bloodline, the attack of the sky-splitting demon ape king poses no threat to Shu Mo at all. Especially since Shu Mo has always been outside the control range of the opponent's domain, he can more easily avoid the attack of the sky-splitting demon ape king. Sure enough, as the earth trembled violently, terrifying shock waves shot out in all directions, and the jungle outside Yanjing Fortress fell in pieces with an alarming momentum. Countless monsters suffered unparalleled disasters and were instantly torn to pieces by the oncoming shock wave. The earth cracked, and with the sky-splitting demon ape king as the center, the jungle within a radius of 10 kilometers instantly turned into powder and scattered into the jungle 10 kilometers away. The jungle 10 kilometers away was almost submerged by these powders. But Shu Mo was unscathed. The sky-splitting demon ape king's attack was too single and too slow. The only effective attack, the shock wave caused by the sky-splitting demonic ape king, was only enough to mess up Shu Mo's hair. However, the sky-splitting demon ape king consumed a lot of energy because of this. After it vented its anger, it was obviously exhausted, so it sat down on the ground and wanted to rest for a while. But as soon as it raised its eyes, it saw Shu Mo standing outside his territory, standing on the top of a big tree, making faces at him. The form that Shu Mo imitated at this time was that of a gorilla playing with treasures. The sky-splitting demon ape king was immediately furious and roared angrily at Shu Mo. "Are you still so energetic?" Shu Mo plucked his ears and sneered, "But you've already hit me so many times, shouldn't you let me hit you too?" The sky-splitting demon ape king was stunned. "What do you mean? I hit you, you hit me back, how about playing?" However, in the next second, Shu Mo had disappeared from the top of the treetops. The sky-splitting demon ape king was shocked. Before he could recover, Shu Mo's smiling face had already appeared in front of him. Snapped. Shu Mo opened his palm and slapped the sky-splitting demon ape king directly on the face. The speed of Shu Mo's slap was so fast that the sky-splitting demon ape king had no time to react, and the slap had already hit his face. In the eyes of the sky-splitting demon ape king, even if Shu Mo's slap was firm, it would not be a big deal. At most, he would feel even more humiliated. However, the reality was beyond the expectations of the sky-splitting demon ape king. The moment Shumo slapped it on the face, the pupils of the sky-splitting demon ape king suddenly dilated. Severe pain. Incredible pain. Almost at the same time as the sky-splitting demon ape king was slapped, his neck was twisted at 90 degrees, and his cervical vertebrae made a crisp, click, sound. Immediately afterwards, the sky-splitting demon ape king couldn't suppress the pain and screamed out. At the same time, a mouthful of blood wrapped around 2 teeth spurted out of his mouth. The sky-splitting demon ape king staggered to one side and almost fell to the ground. It covered its face and looked at its teeth in the blood and water on the ground, and it didn't come back to its senses for a long time. Is a human slap so powerful? Are those really my teeth? Did I vomit blood? All your teeth were knocked out. Are those really my teeth? Question marks one after another. Yu reading www. Yuakanshu.com lingered over the head of the sky-splitting demon ape king, and he didn't react until he saw Shumo again on the treetops in the distance, waving his hands and making fun of himself. Human, you are seeking death. The sky-splitting demon ape king went crazy, waved his arms again, and pounced on Shumo. The furious sky-splitting demon ape king became completely serious. The moment it pounced on Shumo, its whole body was wrapped in a ball of purple fire. Its domain expanded again, and it finally captured Shumo's chi for the first time. Die to this king. The sky-splitting demon ape king's eyes showed fierceness, and his body once again grew to a length of 50 meters. At the same time, he waved his arms and smashed towards Shumo. Seeing the crazy look of the sky-splitting demon ape king, Shumo's lips curved into a wicked smile. Rage, start. Behind Shumo, the phantom of the Chongming bird expanded angrily, and in an instant it expanded to the same size as the sky-splitting demon ape king. Shumo's aura surged crazily, and his strength also increased. Platinum 1 star, Platinum 3 stars, Platinum 6 stars, Platinum 9 stars. After a while, Shumo's strength unexpectedly climbed to 1 diamond star. Feeling the unfamiliar energy fluctuations in his body, Shumo himself was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that Chongmingnao's innate skills, the so-called 10% increase in strength, would be so abnormal. It actually made his strength directly rise to a higher level. The sky-splitting demon ape king, who was in a crazy attack mode, was stunned for a while. The eyes he looked at Shumo were full of confusion and surprise. Why does that **** ant in front of me suddenly seem to have changed into a different person? But the arrow was on the string and it had to be fired. Its fist like a mountain hit Shumo hard. Chapter 27. Slave Contract. Facing the terrifying blow from the sky-splitting demon ape king, Shumo refused to dodge. He actually raised his fist to meet him, and collided directly with the fist of the sky-splitting demon ape king. Boom! Following a terrifying shock wave, it shot out from where the fists of Shumo and the sky-splitting demon ape king collided. Roar! Unexpectedly, the sky-splitting demon ape king let out a shrill wail. The fist it collided with Shumo was torn apart in an instant, and then the entire arm was torn apart and exploded into countless pieces. The next moment, the huge body of the demonic ape king shrank rapidly. When his body transformed into only 2 meters tall, the arm that had just been broken by Shumo's punch actually grew back. The recovery ability of platinum-level monsters is so terrifying. Roar! The sky-splitting demon ape king roared crazily, swung his fists repeatedly, and hit the ground heavily. Shock waves visible to the naked eye suddenly shot out in all directions. Shumo's body trembled slightly and his eyes suddenly shrank. Interesting, at this time, you dare to use the field on me. Shumo fell from the sky and raised his feet at will, but he was struggling. The sky-splitting demon ape king gave up his huge size and used all his energy in his own domain. As a result, the jungle in front of you is affected by gravity 100 times within a radius of 100 miles. Countless low-level monsters suddenly collapsed on the ground, unable to move. The stronger silver and gold monsters fled away in panic. But their movements of escaping were like a slowed-down action movie, looking extremely ridiculous. As for Shumo, with the violent blessing of the Chongming bird's innate skills, his strength is already much higher than that of the sky-splitting demon ape king. The best way to break the monster realm is to make your own strength surpass the monsters that release the realm. But Shumo did not take action immediately. Seeing Shumo standing motionless, a cruel smile appeared on the face of the sky-splitting demon ape king. This **** human had teased him several times, and even hurt himself just now when he was unprepared. He must be cut into pieces to relieve the hatred in his heart. The sky-splitting demon ape king had never thought about the reason why Shumo had just shattered one of its arms. He just vented his emotions crazily and continued to punch Shumo down. In its view, Shumo is now in his own gravity field and has no chance of escaping. Seeing the big fist of the demon ape king smashing down on his head, Shumo smiled slightly, waved his hand casually, slapped the fist of the demon ape king, and then slapped the other side of the demon ape king with another slap. On the face. Snapped. With a crisp slap in the face, the sky-splitting demon ape king fell firmly at Shumo's feet this time, spitting out another mouthful of **** teeth. How could you, your, other self? The sky-splitting demon ape king wailed incoherently and looked at Shumo with eyes full of disbelief. Shumo didn't pretend this time, and walked slowly forward with his hands behind his back, towards the sky-splitting demon ape king. Seeing the other party strolling towards him, the sky-splitting demon ape king slowly widened his eyes and finally reacted. The human in front of him was stronger than himself. He had been tempting him just now. He had been deliberately arousing his anger and falling into the trap set by the other party. The sky-splitting demon ape king is scared. Such a reversal was beyond his expectation. The ant-like guy suddenly turned into a demon-like existence. It wanted to escape, but it felt that it was difficult to move. Field. The other party also has a domain. The sky-splitting demonic ape king was stunned for a moment, and looked at Shumo with eyes full of fear and despair. I was wrong. Please, don't kill me. As long as you don't kill me, I can do whatever you want. The sky-splitting demon ape king had no guts to beg for mercy. The situation was so overwhelming that it had to bow its head. The human being in front of him is the most powerful human being he has ever seen, bar none. When the opponent's domain was released, it didn't even feel anything. Such a being could easily crush it with absolute strength. In order to survive, the sky-splitting demon ape king began to do whatever it took. As long as it could survive, it could really do anything. Sign a slave contract, or die. Shumo's words were concise and to the point. He had expected that the sky-splitting demon ape king would give in. Asking the other party to sign a slave contract was just a temporary move. Anyway, there is no loss in trying it. If you can really get a platinum-level monster slave, it will definitely be an unexpected surprise. It doesn't matter if the other party doesn't agree. Anyway, the system task requirement is to tame or kill the other party. Yes. Hearing this, the sky-splitting demon ape king agreed dejectedly, and immediately forced out a drop of his hard work to sign a slave contract with Shumo. The slave contract is an extremely unfair contract between humans and monsters. Before this, only humans had taken the initiative to sign contracts with monsters, and I had never heard of anyone signing such a contract with a monster. Because signing this kind of contract is equivalent to putting your life under the control of the other party. As long as the other party is willing, the life of the person who signed the contract can be executed anytime and anywhere. After confirming that the contract was signed correctly, Shumo jumped up and stood on top of the sky-splitting demon ape king. www.readwn.com, let's go to the wall of Yanjing Fortress. Quote. As you command, Master. The sky-splitting demon ape king respectfully agreed, stood up carefully, and walked towards the city wall. As for the city wall, Zheng Rong waited impatiently after asking his superiors for help. There was a huge noise in the jungle outside the city wall, which made him anxious. He knew that it was Shumo fighting with the sky-splitting demon ape king. Apart from them, there were no other monsters in the jungle outside the city that could make such a big noise. Can Shumo really hold on until the adjudicator comes? Zheng Rong had no answer in his heart. He could only pray silently in his heart that Shumo could last longer. Admiral, stop, there is no movement in the jungle. Suddenly, Zhu Jian's voice attracted Zheng Rong's attention. Zheng Rong looked into the distance, and sure enough, the jungle that was shaking the world just now seemed quiet now. Could it be said that Shumo has? Zheng Rong did not dare to continue thinking about it, because the movement that had just disappeared appeared again. The direction of the movement this time was actually towards the city wall. No, it's the platinum monster, he's coming towards the city wall. Zhang Rong's eyes widened and he roared hysterically. Everyone, get to your positions, level 1 combat readiness, hurry up, get ready for battle. On top of the city wall, there was chaos in an instant, and the shrill sirens resounded throughout the city in an instant. All the soldiers on the city wall became nervous. Oh my god, the platinum monster is coming. What should I do? What else can we do? Salad. Fight it, there is no other way, our own home is behind us. Chapter 28. The final moment has arrived. At this time, Shu Mo was as steady as a mountain, sitting on top of the sky-splitting demon ape king in the Mercedes-Benz, and he couldn't be happier. The sky-splitting demonic ape king actually signed a slave contract with him and willingly became his mount. If Zhang Rong and the others saw this back home, their jaws would probably drop in shock, right? Shu Mo was thinking proudly, and a system prompt suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host, you successfully tamed the sky-splitting demon ape king, and you will be rewarded with the Chongming bird talent skill, risk your life. Close black lens bracket. Another Chongming Now talent skill is available. Shu Mo pumped his fist excitedly, and an obscure content suddenly flooded into his mind, and at the same time, there seemed to be something in his body. With my current strength, being the governor of Yanjing Fortress shouldn't be a problem, right? While Shu Mo was thinking this, the sky-splitting demon ape king had arrived at the outermost edge of the jungle, and the tall city wall in front was clearly visible. Coming. The moment the sky-splitting demon ape king appeared, Zhang Rong noticed it at a glance, and his whole body suddenly became nervous. At this moment, although the sky-splitting demon ape king is only less than 3 meters tall, he has wings nearly 10 meters long spread out behind him. It's enough to bring a crushing shock to the defenders on the city wall. Seeing the flying demon ape king, everyone on the city wall changed their colors. Even though the monsters haven't started to attack yet, the desperate pressure that comes on them makes everyone on the wall almost lose all their fighting power. The platinum monster, it's really the platinum monster is here. Oh my god, I'm so big and have wings. How can I do this? It's over, the Yanjing Fortress is over, and our home is gone. Looking at the sky-splitting demon ape king in the air opposite, almost everyone lost the desire to fight. When Zhang Rong saw this scene, he didn't say anything, let alone scolded his soldiers. In fact, his calves are trembling now. Facing such an opponent, it doesn't make any difference whether he resists or not. For the current plan, we can only hope that Lord Langmie can arrive in time to protect the people in Yanjing Fortress who have no fighting ability. Zhang Rong was ready for a final fight, and the 2 captains and the captains of the 4th Army all looked as if they were ready to die. Although everyone knows that what they are going to do next is completely useless. But since you are wearing a military uniform, there is no reason to retreat in the face of battle. Unless you die in battle, you will never retreat. Brothers, the last moment has come. Sacrifice your life for righteousness, today. Zhang Rong roared with all his strength, and his voice instantly resounded throughout the entire city wall. The panicked soldiers finally calmed down after hearing Zhang Rong's cry. Everyone knows that the time to sacrifice one's life for one's country has really arrived. At this point, if you don't want to be a deserter, there is only one way. Die generously. Under the leadership of their respective officers, everyone quickly gathered and entered their respective combat positions. Zhang Rong jumped to the top of the crenellations of the city wall, turned to face his soldiers, and roared sternly. Brothers, in today's battle, if you are willing to kill yourself, you can pull the King of Hell off his horse and follow me to kill the enemy. Kill. When the soldiers saw their admiral, standing at the forefront, shouting such words, their blood suddenly surged, their eyes turned red, and they roared hysterically like crazy. Shu Mo, who was sitting on top of the sky-splitting demon ape king, couldn't help but be shocked when he heard the sudden roar. What's going on? Shu Mo stood up from the top of the sky-splitting demon ape king and looked towards the city wall in confusion. Admiral, something seems wrong. At this time, the captain of the Golden Phoenix Army, who was looking at the position of the Krenel, shouted to Zhang Rong. What? Zhang Rong turned around in shock. Look, there seems to be a person standing above that monster, and he seems to be wearing our military uniform. What? Zhang Rong looked out in shock, eyes widening. The blood of the inheritors is mostly monsters, and with the blessing of the blood, their eyesight is extraordinary. Zhang Rong saw at a glance that there was really a person standing above the head of the sky-splitting demon ape king, and he looked very familiar. That's Shu Mo. He's not dead yet. Zhang Rong's eyes widened and he cried out. What? Captain Shu is above that monster. Is he still alive? What happened to the monster? Why did he come back with the monster? Could it be? What the asterisk are you trying to say? What kind of asterisk contract did Captain Shu sign with the monster? Did your brain get kicked by a donkey? That's right, even if we sign a contract, do you think the monsters will let us humans stand on top of them? Does that mean Captain Shu has tamed that monster? That's a platinum monster. With Captain Shu, nothing seems impossible. Oh my god, if that were really the case, wouldn't we? The soldiers were surprised and happy. They looked at the top of the monster's head getting closer and closer to the city wall in front of them, their eyes filled with hope. Don't move yet. Zhang Rong raised his hand to signal the soldiers preparing to fight to be calm. At this time, Shu Mo jumped up from the top of the sky-splitting demon ape king, and landed on the crenel at the other end of the city wall in a moment. Sir Admiral, everyone, the sky-splitting demon ape king will not attack the city wall, so don't be nervous. Everyone's eyes widened immediately. Yu reading www. Ukanshu, CCOM looked at Shu Mo in disbelief. That monster has been tamed by me, and from now on it will be one of our own, our own mount. As Shu Mo's added words reached the ears of everyone present, everyone's eyes widened, and the city wall fell into a dead silence. There is only one thought lingering in everyone's mind at this moment. That platinum monster was tamed by Shu Mo and became his mount. It took a long time before everyone got over the shock and started cheering crazily. Oh my god, Captain Shu is so awesome. This time he really showed off his awesomeness. The platinum monster is used as a mount. Is it true that I was tamed by Captain Shu? That guy is really a platinum monster. Oh my god, is this true? We don't have to die. It's so awesome, so powerful. Is Captain Shu really just a 5-star gold player? Yes. Didn't you say that only some kind of judge can tame the platinum monster? It doesn't matter so much, we don't have to die anyway, ha ha ha. Long live Captain Shu. Long live Lieutenant Shu. The soldiers began to shout wildly, cheer, and jumped for joy on the city wall. Zhang Rong, Zhang Jun, Leng Qun and others all looked at Shu Mo blankly, as if someone had cast a body-holding spell on them. They stood there motionless, their minds blank. They thought of every possibility, but there was no possibility, not this situation. Isn't that a platinum monster? Doesn't Shu Mo only have gold cultivation? Isn't his strength similar to that of the Admiral? Why was he able to tame monsters, but the Admiral almost died in the jungle? Could it be that that is a fake platinum monster? Chapter 29. Old Rules. Who is that? Shu Mo turned around at this time and waved to the sky-splitting demon ape king, who quickly knelt down in the air. Go back. From now on, you must restrain your kind in the jungle and not come within 10 miles of this city wall. Yes, Master. The sky-splitting demon ape king quickly agreed, then turned around and ran away, for fear that Shu Mo would regret it and really let it serve as his mount in human territory. I have been completely embarrassed today. Signed a slave contract, served as a mount for Shu Mo, knelt down to Shu Mo in front of so many people, and promised Shu Mo to restrain all monsters outside the Yanjing Fortress and not come within 10 miles of the Yanjing Fortress. But compared with his own life, that's nothing. As long as he can live in the jungle, nothing else matters. Seeing the sky-splitting demon ape king running for his life, everyone on the city wall was once again shocked. It is true. Really hammered. Shu Mo did not deceive everyone. The sky-splitting demon ape king was really tamed by Shu Mo. That's a platinum monster. It can destroy the Yanjing Fortress with just one move. As a result, Shu Mo was bossed around like his own pet. When everyone looked at Shu Moshi again, their hearts were filled with all kinds of complicated emotions. Shock, awe, pride, excitement, joy, etc. It is no exaggeration to say that at this moment, Shu Mo is already infinitely close to a godlike existence in the eyes of the soldiers. Long live Lieutenant Shu! Long live Lieutenant Shu! Everyone cheered in unison. Shu Mo smiled and waved to everyone, then came to Zhang Rong and saluted with a serious face. Admiral, I'm back. Looking at Shu Mo who saluted him, Zhang Rong's eyes were slightly moist. He didn't know what to say now. If it weren't for Shu Mo, how would he have the life to stand here now? If it hadn't been for Shu Mo, the city wall he was standing on would have been long gone. Just come back, just come back. Zhang Rong stepped forward, smiled and patted Shu Mo's shoulder without saying much. Among soldiers, there is not so much pretense, everything is said without saying anything. Shu Mo, you are the one. Lang Qun came over at this time and gave Shu Mo a thumbs up. It's really unbelievable. I'm afraid it won't be long before we all change our name to you, the judge. What are you talking about? Zhang Jun also walked up at this time. Is the judge as powerful as Shu Mo? Which judge can tame a platinum monster at the gold level? Shu Mo smiled lightly when he heard the words, without any excuse. The more he defended, the more endless he became. And everyone took Zhang Jun's words seriously. It is true that although the judges all have diamond-level cultivation, their ability can kill platinum monsters at will. But it is impossible to imagine Shu Mo taming platinum monsters in such a short period of time. So in comparison, Shu Mo's image suddenly became taller in the eyes of everyone. Center of the human world, Alliance headquarters. In an inconspicuous conference room, 5 seemingly ordinary people were sitting. If anyone knew these 5 people at this moment, they would be extremely surprised to see the frowns on their faces at this moment. Because they are the highest combat power of mankind, 5 of the 12 generals of the Alliance spiritual domain. Accra, monsters have been rioting in many places recently. Have you checked it out? The speaker was a mature and prudent old man. His face was pale, but his eyes were like a deep sea, unfathomable. Teacher, we are checking, but the specific situation is still being confirmed. Holy girl, where are you? The old man looked at the pretty woman on the other side. My men have all been sent out, and good news should come back soon. The woman's attention at the moment was obviously more focused on her long fingernails, and she seemed a little careless about the old man's questions. After hearing what the woman said, the old man seemed to be relieved and turned his head to look at the other 2 people. Teacher, the situation here is not very optimistic. Ah, teacher, my situation is similar to that of a crazy lion. Those **** beasts have gone crazy recently. We need support. There is no support. The old man's eyes were cold. Now, there are only 5 of us sitting in the Alliance Center, and the others have gone out. Tell your men to be more careful. When Amu and Wushwang come back, the situation should improve. Those beasts are really annoying. The woman who was looking at her fingers suddenly made a fist. In the silent conference room, lightning flashed for an instant, and everyone sitting in it all changed their expressions. They all sat farther away from the woman, for fear of being innocently affected. These are the 5 generals of Cancer, Glacier, Lingu, Hongyu and Saintess among the 12 generals of the Alliance Spirit Realm. 12 generals are in charge of 1 or 2 adjudicators. They are the strongest combat power of the Alliance, protecting humans from being invaded by monsters. Teacher, I just received news that there are traces of platinum-level monsters at Yanjing Fortress. General Cancer looked at the report in his hand and www.yuakanshu.com raised his eyes to look at the old man on the main seat, General Lingu. Over at Yanjing Fortress, I've already let Yuying pass. It shouldn't be a big problem. The Saint Lady General retracted her slender fingers and said with a nonchalant expression. Compared to the crisis in Yanjing Fortress, I am more curious about a new thing over there. Please take a look at the 3rd page of the report in your hand. Everyone read the contents mentioned by the Holy Lady, and their eyes suddenly tightened. A new recruit from Yanjing Fortress who has just received the inheritance must have a 9-star talent, and his strength has recently reached a golden 5-star level. This is impossible. The Cancer Lord was the first to scream. The Holy Lady General heard this and sneered, looking at the Lingu General who was in charge. Old man, I want this person, do you have any objection? Saintess, are you stretching your hand too far? Lord Glacier's face was gloomy. You already have 2 adjudicators under your command. That's it, General Hongyu said. I only have 1 Zumi under my command, so it's my turn to ask for someone. What do you mean it's your turn? Cancer reacted at this time. Teacher, I haven't admitted a newcomer for a long time. Okay. Lord Lingu lowered his brows and said solemnly, since everyone wants someone, let's follow the old rules and shake them off. Which kid is willing to come back with whom, that person will be his. Okay. When the saint heard this, she immediately stood up with joy and went straight out to get her communication device. Damn it, teacher, you're favoring her again. Cancer and the others were furious, and rushed out of the conference room, contacting their respective adjudicators. For a time, many judges scattered around the world rushed towards the Yanjing Fortress. Chapter 30. How so? Yanjing Fortress, Safe House. Shumo has been practicing in the safe house since he returned from outside the city. To eliminate the crisis of the sky-splitting demon ape king, Zheng Rong specially allocated 3 gold monster crystal cores and 5 platinum monster crystal cores and gave them to Shumo as rewards. With these crystal nuclei, and the crystal nuclei Shumo obtained from the monsters he killed in the jungle, he successfully raised his cultivation to Platinum 2 stars. But he is not satisfied with his current strength. Platinum 2 star may be regarded as the top combat power in Yanjing Fortress. But compared with the Arbiter, there is still a considerable gap. Shumo is a character who does not want to be seconded to others. After he absorbed the crystal nuclei given to him by Zheng Rong, he entered the pseudo-high-dimensional space and prepared to buy some more crystal nuclei to increase his strength. Entering the pseudo-high-dimensional space, the top of the rankings is still the same as last time, and it is the position that all recruits pay most attention to. Shumo didn't even bother to take a look, so he went directly to the place where the monster crystal cores were sold to check what he needed. Therefore, Shumo didn't notice at all that among the crowd gathered at the front of the ranking list, a person was staring at the top position with a look of reluctance in his eyes. Wan Wei had occupied the top spot in the recruit rankings a few days ago and had been doing so for nearly half a year. He originally thought that he would become the top recruit in this year's recruit rankings without any suspense. Unexpectedly, just a few days ago, a guy named Shumo came out of the blue, took away his first place, and even gave his merit worth 200,000. The first time he learned the news, Wan Wei's mentality almost collapsed. He immediately applied to go to the monster-stricken area, where he hunted monsters crazily and refreshed his merit points. For this reason, he even hesitated to leapfrog a level and killed a monster that was 1 star higher than himself. The purpose of working so hard is to regain the first place in the rankings that belongs to him. When he felt that his hunting merit points should stabilize Shumo, Wan Wei entered the pseudo-high-dimensional space at the same time as Shumo. Boss, you won the first place for sure this time. In just a few days, you got more than 200,000 merit points in one go. It's totally unconscionable that the first place is not yours. That's right, boss, if you hadn't been number 1 for all your hard work, then we wouldn't have had to live. By the way, who named Shumo? Hasn't his ranking changed recently? Who should pay attention to him? He is a little-known little guy. That's right, our boss is the real number 1. Listening to the compliments from his companions around him, Wan Wei had a humble smile on his face, but the corners of his mouth curled up uncontrollably, betraying his true thoughts at the moment. Shumo, let's see how I overtake you. Today is the ranking update day. Every time the ranking is updated, it is the most sensational moment for recruits around the world. But just when Wan Wei was full of confidence, he was waiting for the ranking list to be updated, and his name would appear in the first place. Boss, the rankings are not wrong. Oh no, it's number 1 on the rankings, how could it be? No, how could this happen? Boss, the moment the rankings are refreshed, everyone can see the names of the people ranked 1st to 10th. When Wan Wei saw the name on the first page, which clearly showed that it was not him but Shumo, his whole body felt bad. When he repeatedly confirmed that Shumo's meritorious service was worth more than 1 million, he felt even worse. It's almost the same as last time. Shumo's merit points are just a fraction of the total merit points of the second place Wan Wei. Last time Shumo had 200,000 more merit points than Wan Wei, but this time it was over 1 million more. With such a numerical difference, it is clear that the two are superior in strength. Wan Wei's legs felt weak when he saw it. He had worked hard for these days, killing monsters with all his life, earning merit points, and wanted to surpass Shumo, but the result was so cruel and disappointing. The gap of 1 million sounds simple, but in fact, Wan Wei knows what it foreshadows. That guy named Shumo has almost killed the platinum monster. Otherwise, how could it be possible to surpass myself by so many merit points in such a short period of time? In the pseudo-high-dimensional space, the recruits who saw this scene were dumbfounded and couldn't help but talk about it. Damn it, that guy named Shumo is just a beast. This is too much for second place. Don't give the second place any chance at all, just dump him for $1 million. What is despair? This is it. Oh my god, it's a shame I didn't make the list. If I were second, I'd probably be killed. Do recruits have such a powerful role? Why didn't I know? You don't know a lot, do you still need this one? Everyone was talking about it, but the person involved, Shumo, was in the merchandise area, exchanged what he wanted, and left straight away. After leaving the pseudo-high-dimensional space, Shumo continued to practice. However, before he could finish swallowing a crystal core, someone came to report that Zhang Rong was inviting him. Shumo quickly absorbed the remaining energy of the crystal core in his body, then went out and went straight to the city guard's mansion. Shu Xiaowei. Zhu Jian saw Shumo in the distance at the gate of the city guard's mansion, and hurriedly greeted him. www.readwn.com. I have recently made a breakthrough and now my strength is 1 silver star. Please give me some advice when you have time. Let me give it a try. Quote. Hearing what Zhu Jian said, before Shumo had time to express anything, Leng Qun on the other side had an expression of hatred for iron. Shut up, is silver 1 star worthy of your happiness? Do you need Captain Shu to find someone to give you advice? Isn't that a waste of resources? Hearing this, Zhu Jian had a confused look on his face. He was about to say something, but suddenly he seemed to notice something and looked at Shumo in surprise. Captain Shu, the aura on your body is different from before. Have you made a breakthrough again? Shumo heard this and smiled lightly. Good luck, I just got promoted to platinum, ha ha ha. Hearing what Shumo said, Zhu Jian and Leng Qun's faces suddenly darkened. Especially Zhu Jian. This time Leng Qun didn't need to criticize him, he felt stupid. Just now, he actually asked Shumo to give him some advice. People are already platinum, what advice should they give me? Any advice on how to beat yourself up? At this time, Zhang Rong came back from outside, saw Shumo, and raised his hand to say hello. Shumo, you are here so early. I have news to inform you that the Lord Adjudicator will be arriving soon. Get ready to greet him. Is the Adjudicator coming? Shumo's heart suddenly jumped and he subconsciously looked towards the sky above his head. Zhang Rong also noticed it at this time, turned his head and looked up to the sky, and saw a powerful aura on the sky, shooting straight towards the Yanjing fortress. The top of the breath, with Shumo and Zhang Rong's eyesight, could tell at a glance that it was a human being. If you really say Cao Cao, Cao Cao will be here. It's just that Zhang Rong's expression at this moment is slightly weird. Master Lang Mie, is it a woman? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.